Unit 5, Writing Classes, Topic 5.4, Accessor Methods. In Java IDEs, it is common once instance variables are declared to generate getter and setter methods for each instance variable. An accessor method allows other objects to obtain or access the value of instance variables or static variables. Accessor methods allow safe access to private instance variables, and they can be referred to as get methods or getters. Here's the person class example we saw in topic 5.1. Remember, a non-void method returns a single value. Its header includes the return type in the place of the keyword void. An accessor method is a non-void method. Let's look at the basic structure of an accessor method. It must be public so that it can be used or accessed outside by other classes. The return type must match the data type of the instance variable. Normally, it starts with get, and it has no parameters. Let's practice. Write accessor methods for all instance variables: name, type of pet, and age. Let's look at this example. I have instantiated an object P of type pet with the constructor pet that takes in 3 parameters: rover, dog, and the integer 3. Notice what is displayed when I try to run this code. Nothing. Be careful. Returning a value is not the same as printing a value. You must call system.out.print in order to print or display the returned values. Yay! Now I can see the results. In non-void methods, a return expression compatible with the return type is evaluated, and a copy of that value is returned. This is referred to as return by value. This means the original value is not changed, and it is a safe way to access the instance variables. Let's analyze an example. I'm going to instantiate a pet object called P. I will initialize an integer called newAge, and it will store p.getAge. When we print the values newAge and p.getAge, they return the exact same value. This is to be expected as newAge has been given the value of p.getAge. Let's say we want to change the value of newAge to 7. When we print the value of newAge and p.getAge again, we can see that the initial value of age is unchanged, but the value of new age has been changed to reflect the change that was made in the program. Because the return value is a copy of the initial value, the original is unaffected. This again is referred to as return by value. When the return expression is a reference to an object, a copy of that reference is returned, not a copy of the object. Object variables really hold a reference to the object in memory. This is not the actual value, but its address in memory. So, if the method is returning an object like string, Java returns a copy of the object reference, not the value itself. Java was especially designed this way because objects tend to be very large and we want to avoid copying large objects. So we just pass around references to the objects or their addresses in memory. So, when we call getName, we actually get back a reference to the string for the name in memory. The return keyword is used to return the flow of control to the point immediately following where the method or constructor was called. Remember what we would see if we tried to print our object? Some non-meaningful information would be displayed. This is the default toString method that comes from the object class. For those interested, it is composed of the class name at hashcode in hexadecimal form. Do you remember what we could add in our class code to display meaningful information? Our own toString method. The toString method is an overridden method that is included in classes to provide a description of a specific object. It generally includes what values are stored in the instance data of the object. In Unit 9, Inheritance, we will discuss these in more detail. Overloaded methods are located in the same class, have the same name, but different parameters. Overridden methods are located in different classes, they have the same name and the same parameters. The syntax of a toString method is the keyword public, followed by string, and the name toString. It will return a string of concatenating instance variables. If system.out.print or system.out.println is passed an object, that object's toString method is called, and the return string is printed. Now with my updated toString method, meaningful information is displayed when I print the object P.